Derrick McLendon is decided to enter his name into the transfer portal. I don't think anybody's stunned. People have been asking about him for over a week. That'll happen when, there's footage of people practicing and he's not amongst those people. People can pick up on that pretty quickly. And people have been asking me for a while about it. And all I've had to say about that is, listen, this staff has done a real good job of when a guy's gone and he's off that roster quickly. Just monitor the damn roster. That'll tell you who's still there and who's not. His name no longer on the roster. He's in the transfer portal. I do want to say this. That's not great news. He's not a huge difference maker. He's not a change the game kind of player. He is part of the four-man rotation with the defensive ends. He would have played a lot of snaps, and they become a little less than what they were. That's all I'll say about that, is that he will – that hurts a little bit. Not a lot, not enough to lose sleep, but it's not great news.
It's one of those tough situations, though, where, like, a player probably values themselves at a different level than the program values you.
Yes.
Clearly.
And, we've talked to Derrick a lot over the last 4 years. Likeable guy, like him, Atlanta guy. So you always rooted for him. But Derrick McLendon thinks Derrick McLendon is one of the top defensive ends in the country. He has said that numerous times.
Yes.
I think he might think he's the best defensive end in the country.
Despite a lot of evidence to the contrary.
The numbers don't bear that out.
Right.
You're not even the second best defensive end on your team, but okay.
But if you have that belief, which is good, man, everybody should have that belief.
Yeah.
But if you have that belief,
I believe I'm the best host on this show.
I mean, that's something that,
there's no evidence. There's no evidence to that end, but he can believe it. And we want him to believe it.
Gets me up in the morning.
Yeah.
If you believe that, that's fine. But like, it could hurt your feelings if the team is not acting in a way that makes you feel like that's what you are.
Yeah.
And, they're going out and getting a defensive end from South Carolina who comes in and looks really good. And
he's the exact height and weight as you are and the same year you are.
And so, yeah, man. And Jared Verse is Jared Verse, and Patrick Payton's becoming Patrick Payton. So, it's one of those things. It would be nice if he would have said, I'm with you. I think they'd be better off.
They're better with him.
And people will bring up the numbers. Yeah, they have to lose a few players to get under 85.
Not at that position.
That's not the one you'd pick.
No, and they're already going to lose some guys just by virtue of the math, right? They have too many running backs, too many offensive linemen, you could argue. It seems like it stands to reason a guy here or a guy there from those two units are going to be gone at the end of this spring. I'm not sitting here telling you which ones, but there seem to be some obvious candidates. They didn't want to lose a defensive end. Again, it's not the end of the world. You wish the young man the best. You're right, Ira. He valued himself a little bit more than the team certainly did. And at the end of the day, I think that's the other part of NIL. If a guy comes in and he gets money to come in and you don't feel like you're paid to what you think you're worth, well, that tends to get into your feelings a little bit. I think that's another example of it.
Well, but the good news is if they do think there's a deficiency at that position, and they very well might, because depth is now, to me, a concern. Derrick McLendon, like Jeff said, was not a game changer, but he was an experienced college football player that could play. He was a solid-ish defensive end. I'm not diminishing what he meant to this team. You can go find a Derrick McLendon in the portal if you need to. They're not the actual one, but there's other guys that are.
Although you could, if you're on another program, you could find Derrick
McLendon.
Correct.
He is in there right now.
He's right there. Yeah.
But you could go find his equal, or maybe someone a little better come the middle of April, right? Like, that is a possibility. That is the new world of college football. So I think when people hear this news, they're like, oh, well, that's kind of a bummer, but ... there might be somebody better in the portal that now there's an opening for them to want to come to Florida State because there's a spot in the four-man rotation.
It is a nice thing that Patrick Payton is developing his all-around game, because we knew Patrick Payton was a really good pass rusher. He showed that last fall. The fact that Derrick McLendon has played a lot of football and is a grown man, has been in the system for 4 years. He's a guy that can play the run and the pass. And so now Patrick Payton taking his game to that level where you don't have to take him off the field. He can set the edge. That's a big deal.
Yeah, he's going to have to get better and better at it. It appears that he is. We'll see how he does in games at that role. Somebody else can step up in that room as well. So let's see what they do there. I know they've been kind of experimenting with some different guys, so we'll see. You're not better without Derrick McLendon. It's not the end of the world that he left.
But you might end up by August, depending on if you do anything in the portal, your defensive end position might be better.
Maybe
than it is right now, but that's assuming they're even going to go get someone.
Yeah,
which that is an assumption.
Yeah, and you never know, and that is the beauty, is that you have an opportunity at the end of spring to reevaluate and kind of decide. All right, what do we think we have? What don't we have?